Welcome back to the town hall, everybody. We just wrapped up the retro pitches last week, and now we're going to get into the new season, the third season of Optimism Town Hall. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here, and I hope everybody has a wonderful time, wonderful event. I hope you enjoyed the break. We just had a 2-week break from Optimism Town Hall. For anybody who's not familiar, you can go to optimismtownhall.com. It's a collaborative forum for discussions about Superchain with a special focus on optimism governance and community coordination. And our weekly events create an interactive space where everyone can learn about optimism's development, explore opportunities, and contribute to important conversations about the collective's future. You can learn more about the event here on the website. We host these events every Thursday at 18 UTC with structured discussions, but also just welcome discussions that everybody's welcome to join. We talk about educational sessions about new tooling that's been developed on the Superchain, retro funding, missions, presentations from community leaders, and so forth. And we host our events with a community agenda game called Agendas that allows community members to propose topics and vote for topics with Optimism Fractal Respect tokens, OP, or badge holders. We're constantly innovating with these decentralized topic selection systems. So you can learn more about this at optimismtownhall.com. You can watch all the videos at the Eden Creators YouTube channel, as well as on the videos page on optimismtownhall.com, as well as the retro pitches events that took place so far. We're entering our third season now. There's also an FAQ where you can learn more details about how you can get involved, just what is Optimism Town Hall in general, and how you can propose topics in our snapshot spaces, and how you can vote, and how the voting power is determined. All the nice details like that. And also, I just put out a thread too, which I put over here actually. But yeah, I put out a thread on the governance forum, welcoming everybody back to Optimism Town Hall, where you can find like an overview of Optimism Town Hall, as well as our goals and what we're doing for season 3. So we invite everyone to join for these deep dives into community-chosen topics and have updates about optimism developments. And you can RSVP at lu.ma/Optimism Town Hall. Everybody's welcome to join. Everybody's welcome to invite your friends. We love to help spread the word about optimism and provide this space where people can learn and interact and engage, and also pioneer these new novel agendas processes as well. So that's where you can learn more about it, as well as the website. And then I believe for today's episode, well, we have a couple topics that I'm going to introduce. First of all, I'll say lu.ma/optimistic. You can find related events to Optimism Town Hall, such as Optimism Fractal, which just started its 5th season, where you can play the respect game every week, and you can earn respect that gains you influence in the Optimism Town Hall, as well as many other benefits too. And actually, our top topic for today is quite related to Optimism Fractal, Optimism Fractal Season 5. So encourage you to check it out. As you can see here on the screen, we're diving back into the respect game for our 2nd year. So congrats and thanks to everybody who participated in the Optimism Fractal community. And the top topic today is related to ORDAO, which we'll get into momentarily. But yeah, first I'll go and show basically the way we choose topics each week is whatever topic has the most votes on the Optimism Town Hall snapshot space at 17 UTC on Monday is the topic that we discuss. So I proposed 2 topics, and the first topic that was approved was about seasons of optimism, reflection, and renewal. And so kind of just wishing everybody that they hope had a great break, and then talking about how as we end the year of 2024, optimism is growing rapidly in many ways, and there's also many opportunities for growth and improvement. And there's many exciting networks that are joining the Superchain, technical developments, and tremendous growth. And there's also some major challenges to achieve the optimistic vision, to further the intents of optimism, to decentralize governance, attract and support builders, and help bring the world on chain, really. Help everybody enjoy the benefits of optimism. So I'm looking forward to playing a role with Optimism Town Hall here, as well as related communities like Optimism Fractal, where a lot of people here are just participate at the events too. So yeah, you can find the details in this post. And it talks about how we're looking forward and what we're aiming to do this season a little bit, and also a little bit about the reflections that I had from over the break and from last season. So I'm eager to hear everybody's thoughts about what we should focus on for this season of Optimism Town Hall, and in general around the Optimism Collective. So curious what initiatives excite you most, and what would you like to see this season? What experiments should the Optimism Collective and Superchain prioritize, and what opportunities you see for Town Hall, Optimism Fractal, and other communities on the Superchain to help contribute to optimism, and in general help support each other, help support our community members and the broader world. So that was the first topic I put out, and then after that was approved, I figured there's so many topics that we had discussed, and so many new things that we hadn't really gotten a chance to discuss, that I figured I'd make a topic that's more specific as well. So feel free to just have some general reflections and so forth with that in mind, but also we do have some specific topics on the agenda, and one topic in particular has the most votes. So I put this out earlier today. And so you can see today's topics that are proposed. There's 8 topics that I proposed here. We can also talk about other things if we'd like, but I think generally this structure with the OP topics can work very well, where we can vote democratically on topics to decide what's most important for the community. So you can vote with the OPF from Optimism Fractal, OP, and badge holders can vote as well. And there's currently 8 topics, which are ORDAO implementation, Optimistics tools development, retro funding round 6 review, the recognizing impact article that I recently wrote, retro season and retro pitch review, the Optimism Fractal Respect game mission that was recently approved, the Eden Creators Videos mission, and the Superchain growth as well. I see we have votes from 3 people here, and
Can you
as you can see in
refresh,
the screen,
please?
oh, sure. Is it not showing properly or something? Oh, now we have 4 votes. There we go. Okay, so let's see. ORDAO implementation has 1.5K votes, and then the next topic is retro funding round 6 review. If we have a chance to discuss it, we can also discuss these in future weeks too. And then the recognizing impact article, you can see the amount of votes here. If anybody wants to change their votes too, or add their votes if they hadn't had a chance, then feel free to do so, and we'll discuss each topic in order of how they got more votes, or whichever topic got the most votes. I also want to bring to people's attention before we pass off to Tadas, because Tadas created ORDAO article. I want to bring to people's attention there's an article with more details about each of these topics. This is on the Optimistics blog, talking about seasons of optimism, reflection and process, reflections and progress. So it has a bit of overview of the OP topics agendas game format here. So one thing that we also have here too is if you do want to switch to the next topic, then you can type next topic in the chat, and then we can switch if there's no objections after 1 minute. It's like a way that we're pioneering this new way to transition topics as well as choose topics. And then, yeah, you can find more details about each of these, about the ORDAO implementation, about the Optimistics toolkit and new developments such as the Respect Games app and fractalgram app, the retro funding round 6 review, the article that I wrote about recognizing impact in retro funding and the experience with Optimistics applications, and the appeal to the foundation, the review of retro season and retro pitches. Basically, like I kind of just said this already, so without being too repetitive, I just want to let everybody know that if you want to dive deeper into these topics, perhaps over the week or something like that, maybe we'll discuss them next week, then there's more detailed overview with a few sentences about each one of these that you can look into, and then there's links where you can learn more too. So the last few topics that are on the agenda for this week or for next week's are the Optimism Fractal Respect game mission, the Eden Creators video mission, and the Superchain growth, and then ways you can participate too. So those are the topics that are on the agenda for today. But as we saw, the top topic was ORDAO. So before passing over to Josh, maybe I'll just briefly introduce, we have an article, optimistics.io/ORDAO, which is describing the state-of-the-art set of EVM contracts that are designed to facilitate an on-chain governance system that's highly decentralized and also has high liveliness, enables communities to coordinate decisions very well, overcoming problems like voter apathy with a consent-based on-chain democratic voting system. So Optimism Fractal just approved a proposal to implement this as the core EVM infrastructure for the Respect game and Respect that's used every week. And we just used it for the first time this week at Optimism Fractal Live events. So you can learn more about ORDAO here. The main component is the optimistic respect-based executive contract, which I kind of just described here. And I'm super excited about how it can help all communities around the world, help the collective really provide digital infrastructure for the future of civilization in many ways. So you can see more details about what ORDAO is and key resources like the GitHub repository. On the page, there's also a video playlist too. Tadas had hosted ORDAO office hours, 4 videos in which he went pretty deep into the details of how it works. And there's also an article about Orec, the optimistic respect-based executive contract too. That's open source where you can learn more. And you can also find some deployment details. This page is kind of a work in progress. And then there's videos. We did discuss the Optimism Fractal ORDAO app with an original introduction about 3 or 4 months ago when Tadas gave about an hour overview. And we had a deep discussion about ORDAO when he first kind of announced and released it. And then we also did another video at Eden Fractal, more focused on the optimistic respect-based executive contract for about an hour. Patrick did an interview, a very detailed and insightful interview as well on the Nova Crypto YouTube channel about ORDAO and Orec a couple months ago. And then you can find the ORDAO office hours here too. So you can find lots of details here, and the proposal that that approved the ORDAO smart contracts is over here on the Optimism Fractal snapshot space with a unanimous vote from all council members. He's also got the exact specifications which this will work with, and this was approved with the Optimism Fractal council process, which this will work closely alongside the ORDAO, and you can learn more about that at optimismfractal.com/council to learn how these are pioneering the way. Lastly, Tadas put up a little thread here in Discord with more details about ORDAO, and there's also the GitHub repositories for both ORDAO and Perhaps where he shared more. So that's it for me. Hope everybody enjoyed the introduction, and Tadas, hopefully that was helpful for you as a way to kick you off and provide the stage for anybody who's new to ORDAO. I see Patrick raise his hand, so I suppose Patrick, if you want to go ahead, you can. But also, I want to pass it to Tadas too. So Tadas, if you want to jump in at any point, then feel free. So yep, floor is open now, and thanks all for listening and being here.
Yeah, baby. Yeah,
That's
baby.
right. Thanks, bro.
Yeah. I just want to tell you, you have into the Zoom here a link to the fractal data collector. Since Optimism 41, you have David Ehrlichman interviewed, Tadas interviewed, you have Zhao Fractal interviewed, you have basically everyone into this Optimism Fractal interviewed, all mapping out into the mind map directly. So you go into the fractal data collector.html, you find the videos there directly. You can search into the mind map, you find all the links. You can send your links also to the mind map. And if you don't do so, I will do. So I have the plan to interview also Abraham Becker with the new UI last week, but we have decided that he has finished the integration with ORDAO to unveil the new UI and make a nice interview. Thank you.
All right, sounds great. Thanks, Patrick. Recommend people checking those interviews out. Lots of great content there. And yeah, you did mention the integration with Fractalgram too, the app that Abraham's building, which is being integrated into ORDAO as we speak.
Yes.
So that's another exciting detail that I forgot to mention there. And I see that Tadas has started sharing his screen. Welcome, Tammy, by the way. Thanks for joining. We're just about to hear about ORDAO from Tadas, so we can pass over to Tadas. And by the way, too, we did get started a bit late, and the event is only formally scheduled for a half hour. But if we want or if we need, then we can go up to the full hour too. So there's no need to feel rushed to Das if you want to go into more detail on any of this. And with that, I'll pass it over to Das to share ORDAO with us.
Yeah, so maybe I will try to do an overview of what changed in Optimism Fractal, and then go through the tool set available for us to use to interact with the new system. Yeah, so first of all, when we started Optimism Fractal, a lot of processes were not automated, not implemented at the smart contract level. And so for this reason, one of the reasons why we created this intent document, it was supposed to describe like how our intent about how Optimism Fractal is supposed to function. And in general, I started thinking that it's a good practice to have these intent documents, even if once we have code which automates these processes, because it makes it clear to non-technical users and to people who don't have time to look into the code, which is most people. It allows them to understand like how a process works, and in case of any disagreements, it can be used as a point of reference to solve a disagreement. And so, yeah, when moving to ORDAO, I tried to apply the same philosophy. So I started by making a proposal to change the intent document of Optimism Fractal uh, that would be compatible with ORDAO. And yeah, and this is specifically this document right here. Yeah, so it describes how Optimism Fractal is supposed to work from now on, and yeah, if you compare it to the previous document, I think it's much more simple. And yeah, one of the main parts that were changed, consensus process did not change, so we still use the councils in snapshot. The main part that was added was executive contract, and executive contract is basically, this is where ORDAO, so to say, comes in, and the main component of ORDAO, which is optimistic respect-based executive contract, or OREC. So OREC is smart contract, which enables DAOs which use non-transferable respect-like token. It enables them to to come to consensus and execute transactions on chain without suffering from voter apathy issues. So yeah, this document describes how basically it's a specification for ORDAO, and yeah, and the deployed version of ORDAO has a smart contract that implements this. Yeah, so another core component of ORDAO is respect contract, which is ERC1155 based token contract. One of the tokens there in this contract is fungible token, fungible respect, and for each after each event, you get if you participate, you get a respect award, which is like a non-transferable soulbound token, which signifies that you have participated in the event and earned a certain level and amount of respect. Yeah, so these are core components of our DAO and DAO smart contracts, and this proposal which we passed to move to our DAO basically specifies the configuration, which makes more sense if you read this Orec specification.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now that's an overview, like how the base technology of Optimism Fractal changed now. And now, with regards to tools, the stuff you see as a user, we expect to start using the new respect game app. Not start using, we are already using. But currently there is some issues with integration with ORDAO, which we are trying to solve with Abraham. And yeah, in the future, you should be able to play this respect game using this app, and at the end of respect game, you would see a button, just like Town, push it on chain, and then it would directly interact with Privy and MetaMask to submit a transaction and everything to our DAO, and yeah, no need for an external app. Meanwhile, there is also an alternative way to submit breakout room results, the one that some of you used today. So yeah, it works the same way as the old frontend. So if you fill in the details here, you will see the URL, the stuff in URL bar fills in. So basically you can create a link to this the submission that you want to make, which means that you can use this with old fractalgram app. So if new fractalgram app is not working or there is some issues, we can use old fractalgram and use it to submit to ORDAO. And I already configured ORDAO to link to this new frontend when choosing Optimism for platform. When in the beginning, yeah, in the beginning, at the end, when you're creating a consensus message, at the end, that's when you choose platform, and there you choose Optimism, and it will submit to the new version immediately. And finally, the least user-friendly but the most powerful way to interact with ORDAO is our console. So ORDAO, first of all, can do much more than submit when record the breakout room results and distribute respect. It enables community to propose to execute any on-chain transaction and then to vote on it and so on. And through this console, you can do all of these things. But it requires using a browser console. Yeah, and a console also provides documentation for for our client, which is the object through which you interact with or DAO. Yeah, and final thing I wanted to mention was some of the resources to learn more about our DAO, and specifically what you might want to learn about is our console if you want to interact with our DAO. So our DAO office hours was the meeting where we covered some of this. So you might want to watch some of these videos, and also I did an interview with Patrick where we also covered a bit of our console and some of the other meetings where I talked about our DAO.
That if you go now into the Zoom chat, you find the ORDAO Orec interview with Tadas. We showcased our console, how to use the web browser console. That's very easy. That was not easy at the beginning for me, but then when we repeated with Tadas, that was very straight to the point. And the interview is digest, is about 30 minutes. And all is said there. What is ORDAO, what is Orec, how it works and all. You have also into the mind map a tree for Tadas, a tree where we find the GitHub repo, we find all the relevant link for ORDAO, Orec. So I encourage the people to go there. Yeah.
Thanks, Patrick. Sounds good. Let's please also, going forward, probably try to go with the raise hands. I see that that Will raised his hand there. So, I mean, feel free to jump in later when we open it more up, but I want to make sure that Tadas has space to be able to share all the things he wants to share without jumping around too much. So, but thanks, Patrick, for sharing and all the great work helping to promote and organize ORDAO. That's much appreciated. Tadas, is there anything else you wanted to add before we pass it over to Will?
No, I think I finished my presentation now. I'm open to questions or Will, anything else.
Thank you, Tadas.
Yep, thanks a lot for that. Okay, I will see Will has a hand. Will, do you want to ask me anything or share any thoughts?
Yeah. Is there a plan now that the ORDAO has been deployed to integrate that in the current hats tree?
Currently,
Optimism Fractal.
currently there is no plan, but I'm open to it. Like there is no plan because I just didn't have the time to consider the use cases and to design anything. Yeah, but generally, just one thought. I think Orec could be used as a root authority. But I don't know. It's just one thought.
Yeah, I think it would be a value add to the hats tree, because that way anybody at any time could see who the members of the ORDAO are. If that visibility is not distributed in another manner already.
What visibility?
Like, who are the members of the ORDAO, right?
Yeah. So currently it's respect holders from the previous seasons. That's what gives you your vote in ORDAO weight.
Right, I understand that. Right now, that information is only visible on chain, yeah? Or is it built out on another platform?
You mean to see who are respect holders?
Yeah.
Yeah. So currently checking out Block Explorer would be the main way.
So to my point is, if we incorporate that in the Optimism Fractal hats tree, right, that gives another layer of visibility as to who those holders are.
I see.
Yeah, I'll also jump in there and provide a bit more context. So for one thing, neither me or Tadas brought it up, but if you go to the Optimism, and maybe it'd be good, Tadas, if you do it since you have the screen shared. Not necessary though, it's up to you. But if you go to optimismfractal.com and then you go to the like the top bar, then go to the About section. then you go to account, then that links to the Block Scout account where you can see the holders. And basically the way that this will work is that there was over 60 builders who participated. Actually, that links directly there, but if you go to the token, yeah. There's about 64 builders who participate in Optimism Fractal Respect games over the first 4 seasons, and you could see the token distribution and how much tokens they have. So this will be the people who are basically governing the Optimism Fractal contract for this season until some other proposal is made. This is what is set up as like the root kind of like the voting power, basically. So that's one place you can see it. And then also the Optimism hat tree, or the Optimism Fractal hat tree rather. I do think that makes a lot of sense to make ORDAO be the admin hat, like the top hat, basically. Maybe after a little bit of testing or something like that to make sure it works well. But right now, when we first set that up, it was just me who's a top hat, so it's like quite centralized right now for just basically for convenience. But once we have the ORDAO tested and working well, then we can transition that over to the ORDAO so that the community can run that in the hats tree. And then, of course, there's also other integrations to the hats tree that are like relevant or adjacent. Like, for example, Howard has been building hats tree integrations where people who earn respect can automatically become an admin in Fractalgram and things like that. So the ORDAO also comes with the Respect 1155 token as well. So that will also be used with hats going forward. I don't know if, I suppose the hats tree right now is currently configured with the first 4 seasons respect, so we can decide if we want to or when we want to like use the ORDAO respect from these new seasons as well, or how we want to do that exactly. But there's definitely all that potential to integrate much more deeply with the hats and then thereby set roles based upon the ORDAO software.
Yeah, I would say it's up to every community to create an hats tree, to every fractal. So when you go into the fractal data collector, that is composed of different fractal. You have Optimism Fractal with its hats tree. You have Kingfisher Media with its hats tree. You have Zal Fractal by Zal. Shout out to Zal. He has his hats tree. Everyone can have his hats tree. And that's the power of that. And for ORDAO and Orec, I understand very ORDAO as the protocol, Orec as the component of ORDAO, the OR console. And for that, that's just the tooling. And that's up to the communities to create their hats tree. So I encourage to every fractal to create an hats tree, to every DAO to create an hats tree. And then that gives some incentivizing mechanism to collaborate better and to claim those hats and receive some reputation is ERC 11.555 currently here into this Optimism Fractal. I love it. There is no liquidity. Like this, we see who want to really contribute because there is no liquidity, and I love it.
All right, sounds good. Well, I love it too. Thanks for the insights, Patrick. There's also been some interesting comments in the chat too. I saw Rosmari wrote that people who earn respect and get the admin hat after doing the fractalgram training automatically get added the option to admin in their respect team app. Also saw Arnold too, one of the creators of Lighthouse app that we showed before. He said he had a hard stop, so he had to bounce, but thanks for having me. And also he integrated Optimism Town Hall and Optimism Fractal both into the Lighthouse app. So now anybody can now download the Lighthouse app on Android or iOS and have a really easy interface to play cadendas and to choose topics and to make proposals and so forth on Snapshot. So that's super cool. So big shout out to Arnold and thanks for setting that up. Bit of a digression from ORDAO, but related to ORDAO though, because ORDAO and the council can work in very interesting ways together. And of course, the ORDAO smart contracts also will help out Optimism Town Hall and other communities that use the Respect token or other initiatives too. So just wanted to give a little update on that. And I suppose curious if anybody else, if Tadas has anything you want to add about ORDAO or Orec that came to mind, or if anybody else has any other questions or comments about ORDAO, then the floor is open. So
I would say that works. ORDAO works, Orec works. So we can use it into this Optimism Fractal. And what is very needed with this season 5 now beginning, it's to make a better job to market, to snowball every tweet that we do, videos, give awareness to Tadas, the only one for his great tech and outreach other communities to come here, because here we are into our echo chamber currently. So have more people joining and learning what we are doing here. For me, that's the objective. Well, I say at least for myself, my personal objective is to give better awareness for what Dancing Joy is doing here with Rosmari, with Tadas, with Eric, with Kingfisher. So that's what I want to see for season 5. Yeah.
Thanks, Patrick.
Rosmari, as his hand raised.
Thank you for the overview and presentation to that, and thanks for everything, everyone. I have a question. What are the next steps? So what's next
Voilà.
now?
Voilà.
Is that a question for me?
Yes.
Next steps. Well, I know I can kind of see what my next steps are, at least the direction I want to go, at least for the next month or so. So there is a lot of Patrick just said that it works, but I see a lot of stuff not working, and so I need to stabilize a lot of things, and yeah, and once I do that, it will require less manual administration from me, and so I will be more free to develop new features. Yeah, I'm also looking for ways for how to deploy ORDAO to other fractals. So I'm trying to create an architecture where it would be easy for me to deploy easily for other fractals, and where people from other fractals would not need too much manual work to manage it. So one key piece of infrastructure would be to have notification system, like through Discord bot, for example, that would give you notifications on statuses on ORDAO proposal. Because right now there needs to be at least one person who keeps track and makes sure that no bad proposals are being pushed through. It's easy to block them if they are detected, but someone needs to see them. It's just some of the things that I'm currently thinking about working on.
All right. Thanks for the answer, Tadas. Thanks for the question, Rosmari. Is there anything else you want to ask or share there, Rosmari?
No. Thanks.
Okay. Cool. Yep, that was insightful.
You do.
What's up?
I think you do.
I do have questions, yeah. So I'm ready to go and ask a couple questions or share some thoughts here. Also want to give a space if we haven't heard yet from Eric or Will or Tammy or Young SB. So if anybody else has any other questions or thoughts you want to share before I go ahead, then feel free to unmute and jump in.
Just want to say I will do an update number 2 with Tadas
Very nice. Looking forward to it.
when the time comes. Not
Yes,
before.
exactly.
Okay.
Patrick knows me already.
Not only Tadas, I know everyone here. We should spread the information when it is in the good momentum. Before, make no sense.
Yeah,
Voilà.
you need timing matters and the rhythm of communication. Yeah.
Yeah, and we will do that in a firmament way, because firmament is connected with ORDAO. That's the next steps.
Maybe.
Oh, it's not a yeah, baby. It's for sure.
Well, for anybody's
Patrick knows more than me.
Yeah.
I read your
Firmament
mind.
background. For anybody's not familiar, Firmament is another project that Tadas worked on before ORDAO last year quite a bit, an EVM architecture for communities cooperating with the respect game and fractal process and so forth. It's currently on pause, I believe, but maybe it will be integrated with ORDAO at some point going forward in the future. It provides a lot of unique benefits that you can see at optimistic.io/firmament if you'd like.
I have a special connection with Tadas. Every time we do a video, we are so well connected. Sometimes without that we speak, it seems to be that we understand the things, like with Dancing Joy, Rosmari, seems to be, there is some connection. We cannot explain why, but
Yeah,
because
next time we will do an interview where we both are silent, and because we know already.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, yeah. Heart, soul, and mind. That's heart, soul, and mind. You know, we do the things without to think always about the money, the money, the money. We are doing the things bottom up and
mind. Yeah,
heart, soul, and mind. Yeah, exactly. A lot of community, for example, sorry to say, but I am so excited to say, if you see the video with Zhao, Zhao, wow, by the way, yeah, baby. Zal stated during the interview he loved to see the things going with ERC 1155, reputation, think, no liquidity, like this. You see really who want to contribute. Imagine the day when some rewards come. That will be rewards deserved because we have made the things with heart, soul, and mind. So there is not a lot of community like Optimism Fractal. That's the best way to let's say to market. Maybe we are doing soul-bound token here. We are not thinking about first the money. We do first the protocols, then we build, and you have the yeah baby people joining here. That's that Optimism Fractal. It should insist. That's beautiful. What do you think? Yeah baby?
Yeah, maybe that sounds good. Good points there, Patrick. Yeah, I really enjoyed watching your interview with Zal. I recommend people checking it out. And Zal actually mentioned to give a shout out to Tadas at one point, and because Zal is planning to integrate, I believe, ORDAO with the Zal fractal, which we also talked about with Adabody recently. That's going very well, and musicians are really enjoying it. So it's nice to see the open source ORDAO software already being adopted, even though it's just really starting over the past weeks and months here. It's already being adopted by other communities. And all, just let me add here, Patrick. So yeah, I recommend people check that out. And Zal made some really great points about how like other fractals like Zal Fractal are learning from Optimism Fractal and seeing like the tools that are coming out of Optimism Fractal as well. So that's something. That's one of the questions I wanted to ask Tadas at some point if we get a chance about like how he sees this. I know he said he had to do more work to make it really easy for people to use ORDAO, and there's still some processes to fix and make more stable and stuff like that. But I'm really interested in the long-term vision of ORDAO. Like I'm interested very much in the specifications, and I have some questions about that too. I don't know how much time we'll have because we're only 13 minutes from the top of the hour. But maybe if I get a chance, and I'll ask two quick questions about both the current like go a bit deeper into those next steps that Rosmari mentioned, and then also maybe ask a question about like the broader vision and how it will help overall with like Optimism Collective and help people throughout society too, because I think that those are really interesting. So maybe I'll go ahead and ask those two, but I know Patrick, you had something that you want to say, and then also once again, we haven't heard from everybody. So if anybody wants to share thoughts about ORDAO or in general, like reflections of Optimism Fractal before we end, then you're welcome to unmute and jump in. And even if you want to just say hello, that's cool too. Patrick, go ahead.
I have to say, otherwise I cannot see me into a mirror. Zal is the Tadas number 2. It is about music, what Tadas is about protocols. So you need one guy to create the protocols. You need one guy to create the UIs. That's Abraham Baker. He will do also ENS names compatible. We will be able to connect with our ENS name like patnovabat.it or Kingfisher. He has also long time ENS name. So everyone is here to make his thing. Then you connect and you have the big thing. So Tadas is very intelligent, very smart. He has created the protocols. I was asking during the interview, do you will create also the UI? He stated, I want also to let someone create the UI. And during the interview, we unveiled Abraham Baker, and very intelligent guy, very smart. Then you have Zal doing the things for the music industry. So everyone is doing his thing here. Otherwise, we will be not a fractal. We will be like a normal startup, top down. Well, it's already agile, a startup, but there will be someone deciding for the others. So here, everyone is doing his thing. Then you connect. That's the power of this Optimism Fractal. And Yeah, I enjoy to join every week until I die. I hope I will join the most of those Optimism Fractal for 2025 and see Tadas progressing, always adding new things. But what he has made until now is already good. Now we need the UI, a nice UI by Abraham. Sorry, shout out Abraham, and we will have a nice experience. Again, yeah, baby. That's what we want. All cool, all fun.
Yep, that's right. And yeah, speaking of your points before too, I think we're really on a very exciting trajectory here with Optimism Town Hall, Optimism Fractal, Optimism Collective as a whole, on as we enter this new season too. So, and I agree with a lot of points there, but I'll keep it at that for now. I'm curious, Tadas, do you have any other thing you want to add about ORDAO? Maybe I should, before we end, before we wrap up, I should ask these two questions I have on my mind.
Rosmari is tired.
Let's hear your question.
Okay, yeah, it's getting late there, so we'll make sure to wrap it up within the next 10 minutes. So feel free to raise your hand if you have anything else you want to say, but I'll go ahead with these two questions here. So one is just, well, maybe it's even three questions if we have time for it. One is, like, if you could just briefly repeat, like, what are the key changes that are most important for the community that you think the community should know and like take away? And then also, like, on that note, you said so currently there's no UI that's available for this other than the console app. But it's like you have to have some knowledge about how to use the console app. And I don't yet fully. I remember there's the office hours, so I could review it, but I don't remember. I haven't done it yet. So like, like basically, is there any risk of like somebody passing a proposal right now? And like, I know you said there's no notification system right now. So is there some risk of like somebody passing that, and, like me or other people just not seeing it? And is there anything that we should do like to be proactive to make sure that like there's not like bad proposals that get passed? So that's two questions, I guess. Like one is just what are the key things to know for the Optimism Fractal community, and then the second one is like what is there anything we should do to make sure that no bad proposals get passed or something like that? I doubt it'll happen, but just to know might be helpful.
Yeah, so for an average user, I would say it's just that the app which we use is changing. And just to know that under the hood, you need people who are reviewing the proposals, on-chain proposals, and are voting on them if needed, and so on. And yeah, currently you can do all of that through our console app, which is not very user friendly, but very powerful. And yeah, and that brings us, I guess, to your second question. Is there a risk that someone passes a proposal without us noticing it, and so on? Well, I currently take responsibility for this, and all I need to do is every couple of days, even you don't even need to do it that often, maybe every 3 days, check our console for new proposals and for change proposal statuses. And if I find something bad, I vote against it. And I think most of the time that will be enough to stop it, because I have enough respect, and I doubt that one of the large respect holders would attack it that way, because smart contracts make sure that only votes of respect holders matter. So for attack to be viable, someone with respect has to do it. And yeah, but if they don't have that much respect, it's enough for me alone to block it. If I see that my vote is not enough, I inform the community, other respect holders, and tell them how to use our console to help us block it. And yeah, I think the most valuable resource of Optimism Fractal is its respect distribution. So if you don't want to bother like trying to understand our console, just check out the respect distribution that is being done through, and you can use block explorers for that. Check if respect holders match what's expected based on respect game results, and that means it's fine basically.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much for those answers and helping to ensure that goes well. And yeah, I suppose in the worst case, it's always because it's non-transferable and so forth. Because but the community account has access, we could always reverse bad changes in the future, something like that. If anything ever happened like that. The other question I wanted to get in real quick is just what do you think? Like I guess longer term next steps after you make those stability changes. And also, I suppose Abraham and Howard and you and others will develop the app to be more effective and so forth. But I suppose longer term vision, like what do you hope to gain out of ORDAO this season of Optimism Fractal? And then where do you see it going? Like, how do you see it helping the Optimism Collective? How do you see it helping different communities or organizations around the world? And like longer term vision. Do you want to speak on that at all?
Well, first one medium term vision. I after stabilizing it, I'm thinking of, like I said, spreading it to other communities. And yeah, and we already talked with Abraham about that, how to do this, how to do it. I don't know why Patrick is laughing.
He's having a good
Anyway,
time there.
so
Because I think about the long-term vision. The long-term vision is Tadas build all, and when he's made, he go in vacation, in holidays. That's the long-term vision. We should be able to use what he has built without that we need him. And the UI of Abraham, when Abraham will finish to integrate all the ORDAO classes and methods, Orec and all, because that's his goal, we will be able to use the protocol from the UI. And in meanwhile, if someone is sending a bad proposal, I will have per email a notification. So that's okay. So no problem, no problem. We are heart, soul, and mind here. Why you want to send a bad proposal here? Why? Think about to do the things right, and then the worst thing scenario. I think we can all, there is a long way to use the protocol that Tadas has built, but I appreciate the question of Dan, as always, the best dog in the galaxy. But the worst case scenario, what could happen, that Tadas is no more available. So Tadas, I love you. Be always available, because we need you now. For now,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Patrick. Tadas, is there anything else you wanted to add onto your answer there about the medium and long-term vision?
yes. So I already covered medium term vision, now longer term vision. Well, I'm not thinking that much about it yet, but I see a lot of potential. Like we already talked with you, Dan, about you potential for Optimism Collective to use Orec, because we are looking at ways to bring their governance more on chain. Yeah, and I think we should definitely look into Orec. For me, it's a no-brainer, but like you have to make a convincing argument for them, you have to really understand like their context, what where they are coming from, what they need, and yeah, currently I don't have enough time to work on that, to try to convince them about benefits of Orec and also stabilizing ORDAO. So I'm thinking first, like make it good, and then go out and try to spread it more. But there is already communities which want to use it. Just make it. We just need to make it possible to use it easily.
Step by step, iteratively, like Tadas is building. Go step by step, iteratively. And there is a question here from Rosmari. What do you mean by not enough respect? You say no, proposal cannot be passed if not enough respect is voting. So what do you mean by not enough respect? For me, that's about the points that we receive. The respect is the points. So if there is not enough point, the proposal will not pass. So
yeah, there's a minimum threshold. I believe it's 256 respect votes right now. So a proposal can't be approved unless it has at least 256 respect tokens that are voting for it. And then there's also the ratio as well. It needs to have, I believe, over 2/3 of the votes in approval. and work within those time specifications as well, like within 3 days, I believe it is.
And with the ORDAO, the Orec, if I am not wrong, Tadas, you will correct me, you have the negative proposal on one side and the positive proposal on the other. You filter a bit the proposal already to mitigate the risk to pass a bad proposal indeed. Sorry, I restate. You mitigate the risk to that bad proposal are passed. And to mitigate this risk, it's about if not enough respect is voting. That's that.
Yeah, and also after voting stage where people can vote yes or no on a proposal,
Voilà.
there is veto stage where only no votes are accepted. And that gives time for the community to really react to a proposal, because at that point they know that if they don't react, the proposal will get passed.
Voilà. And that is genius. That's only Tadas that can imagine that. No one else has thought about that.
All right. Well, excellent. Yeah, we're very
No,
lucky
I
to
was
have
serious.
Tadas
I was
with us.
serious.
No, that's true. It's a good point. And
Yeah.
also another point is that we are at the top of the hour too. So if anybody else wanted to share any quick last comments, then feel free. But we should start to wrap it up to make sure that everybody can get on their way. So I'll leave a couple seconds here space, and then otherwise I'll wrap it up with a little outro presentation, and then we'll go 3, 2, 1 as Patrick says.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'll wrap it up. So thanks everybody so much for being here. Also on Tadas' point too about Optimism Collective. So I'm also working on that too. I'm working quite a bit on engaging with leadership in the collective, and I think that this would be a very fitting solution for the Citizens House in particular. And it can also be very helpful for delegates, like enabling community delegates. There's a possibility that Optimism Fractal could become a delegate in the Optimism Collective. And people could potentially stake OP, and Optimism Fractal could make decentralized decisions, as well as other communities using ORDAO too. So there's all sorts of potential that I'm excited to explore in future seasons of, or this season, Optimism Fractal Season 5, and in the Town Hall, and as Optimism Collective enters Season 6 and so forth. So I think Patrick's excited about this.
You know what? I want to wrapping up by stating at 3210, go ORDAO, go Orec, yeah, baby.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea. I'd also like to say go Optimism at the end, and
go Optimism, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but first I'll also just sign us off with a little presentation before we go with the countdown. So thanks everybody so much for joining the town hall. This has been a wonderful episode. Thanks all for joining the Optimism Fractal event earlier as well. Really excited to embark on these new seasons with you all. OptimismTownHall.com, where you can learn more about this, and optimistics.io/ORDAO, where you can learn more. Find the GitHub repositories, find the videos that we shared before, see how it all works. Feel free to reach out in the Optimism Fractal Discord as well to ask Tadas questions about ORDAO, and recommend if you want to check out the specifications that we were just talking about, you can see the proposal as well as the GitHub repositories that he has linked the concepts and so forth. So huge thanks and shout out to Tadas for all the great work on ORDAO. Really excited to use it and pioneer it and help many other communities and organizations benefit from ORDAO going forward. And people can join Optimism Fractal weekly events to play with the ORDAO infrastructure and play the respect game. Everybody's welcome to join. We're going to have our next weekly event at Thursday at 17 EDC next week. It will be on Thanksgiving Day, so hopefully you can all join, but it's early in the day, so looking forward to seeing you there. There's also, what's that? There's also the Eden Fractal event coming back for its season premiere on next Wednesday as well, so stay tuned for that. And I hope everybody will join us for Optimism Town Hall Season 3 and Optimism Fractal Season 5 on Thursdays, which you can find at lou.ma/optimistics as well. I'm going to meet you there. Tammy, I don't know if you're aiming to speak there. And check out all the videos on the Eden Careers YouTube channel, as well as the retro pitches videos that we did over the break to see more Town Hall goodness as while you're waiting for next season or next events rather. And also check out the Nova Crypto Ltd Optimism Fractal channel, where you talked about the Zao Fractal with Zal, as well as the video with ORDAO and other things too. So this has been a wonderful episode. Thanks so much. These other 7 topics, we didn't get a chance to discuss them, but this poll is open till the end of the year. So I think we can just use this poll for the next Optimism Town Hall and maybe the next few ones if we want. So feel free to vote on any topics that you have on your mind that you want to discuss in next week's, like retro funding round 6, review, recognizing impact articles, the new other tool development like the Respect.Games app and Fractalgram, the Respect Game mission, Superchain growth, Eden creators, retro pitches review, all this great stuff is still up here. So feel free to vote or change your vote going into next week, as well as just propose new topics on the Optimism Town Hall snapshot space if there's anything else you want to discuss. And once again, you can see the article linked in there for more details about each of these topics, so you can dig into it throughout the week and learn more about these. So thanks so much everybody for joining. RSVP, invite your friends, Lou.Optimistics. We hope to see you at the upcoming events. And I think we're out. So thanks all. And if we're ready, then we can maybe harmonize in a 3, 2, 1, and we can say go ORDAO and go Optimism, and then we can sign off. Does that sound good?
That sounds very good. But before that, shout out to everyone here. Shout out to Dancing Joy, the best dog in the galaxy. Shout out to Rosmari doing a fantastic job. Shout out to Kingsfisher Media. Let's grow. Beautiful footage. Fantastic job by Eric Westrich. Fantastic job. Thank you for that. Thank you, everyone. Join us Optimism Fractal on every week at 1700 UTC, followed by Town Hall at 1800 UTC. We love that people join here because you will collaborate together. You will be rewarded in respect token, all about reputation. No money first, reputation first. And now we're wrapping up by stating at 3, 2, 1, 0, we will say, go ORDAO, go Orec, go Optimism Fractal, hallelujah! And yeah, baby. We can do that? Yes, we can. We are on Optimism Fractal. Let's do the countdown.
Yes, we can. All right, you heard it here, folks. And I think we're ready to go. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Go ORDAO! Go Optimism! Got to the fractal! Woohoo! All right. Thanks all so much, and hope to see you next week. Invite friends too, and we'll see you.